Hey HITCON，大家好，我姓陈，名建松，来自马来西亚。我本身的中文不是讲的这么的好，如果讲起治安的话，可能很多时候呢，那些字眼啊，那些专业名词，其实我抓拿得不到，所以请大家允许我在接下来这个50分钟里面，用英文给大家分享关系到这个 Internet of Things IoT honeypot 的事情。好，Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kean Siong. Yeah, I'm from Malaysia. Yeah, I'm a honeypot hobbyist, which is I deploy honeypot at home, just for my personal pleasure, personal interest basis. So today, I'm going to share with you what I have seen for the past 18 months to 2 years right now. Yeah, so what I've seen for what's happening on my honeypot. Yeah, so for the next 30 minutes, for the next 50 minutes, we are going to explore 3 different simple stories. So the first one, definitely I'd love to share with you about, let's try to explore together about some of the Internet of Things network protocol, which is MQTT, UPnP, and definitely Telnet protocol. Okay, so the second thing is let's try to explore together about how my honeypots look like. And then the third stuff, I love to share with you a lot of interesting story that happened on my honeypot. I promise to you, I'm going to share some of the love story that I have in my honeypot with Mirai botnets. Not only one Mirai botnet, but lots of Mirai botnets. Yeah, so I promise, last but not least, I'm going to share some of the photos of my honeypot. So if I don't share you about the photos, don't let me go, okay? Yeah, for me, IoT is just about device-to-device communication, sensor-to-sensor communications, machine-to-machine communications. I love this picture the most because it actually concludes and symbolizes all the Internet of Things and what is that. So just a quick introduction to, about myself. My name is Kean Siong. I'm from Malaysia. 马来西亚是一个非常好玩的地方。如果有机会呢，大家可以到马来西亚逛一逛、玩一玩、走一走，当然吃一吃。马来西亚文化非常的棒，当然有很多很好的人，好像我。哦，没有啦，开玩笑。Okay, I'm part of the HoneyNet project, which is this project is an open source project that focusing on lots of honeypot technologies and cyber deceptions capability itself. During my free time, I develop honeypots at home. I'm involved in some of the open source development honeypots such as Dioneer honeypot. Also, 2 years back, I found one of the problems. How can we deploy honeypot in the easiest way? So Christopher Lake from Singapore and I, both of us, we started one of the project called HoneyPie. What you and I can do, go to the website, download one of the image, burn into the SD card, boot in the so-called Raspberry Pi, 那个草莓派, and then you will have your honeypot set up. So we try to make this process to be much simpler, much easier, so every one of us can deploy honeypot in the easiest way. Yeah, and then from time to time, during my free time, I'm part of this Hack in the Box HITB conference crew. Yeah, and then I have a lot of stickers and postcard. So later, just talk to me that, hey, you want this postcard, you want this sticker, I will pass it to you. Yeah, because next year we were having a Hack in the Box in Singapore, and then in Amsterdam and in Beijing as well. Yeah, just a slightly promotion. Yeah, story time. Trace back to year 2015. Okay, I'm starting to explore about the IoT security, and my approach is pretty simple. Why not? We just create a honeypot, put it into the internet, and then let's try to observe what will happen to the honeypot itself. So this is the main idea that I have in mind back in 2015. 那时候是2015年. And then at the time, I tried to study about the network protocol basis, which is look at the Internet of Things protocol. Just a couple of Google, and I found that this is a very interesting fact. In daily basis, we browse website. So it is using SSL, HTTPS. But for Internet protocol, they are much simpler compared to the HTTP, this type of common protocol itself. There are 2 fundamental design of the IoT protocol. The first requirement, it has to be lightweight, which is, for example, I have one sensor, IoT sensor, we put in the train tunnel, the trains pass by, zoom, and then we try to calculate what are the speed of this train itself. So this result will be sent back to the controller, and then this result will be sent through so-called 3G, 4G. So in this case, the bandwidth consumption had to be as low as possible. So this is the first criteria of the IoT protocol design. I mean, that's what I learned. The second thing is about it has to be reliable. So in terms of the protocol communication itself, it must have the so-called QoS, which is the quality of service. Yeah, so while I tried to dive in further and further, then I found that, I have two candidates, which is this through protocol. I'm going to implement this through protocol into my honeypot. Yeah, so this through protocol will be MQTT protocol, and then second one will be UPnP protocol. Yeah, so let's try to learn about this through protocol very quickly. So you may ask that, hey, Kean Siong, I've never heard about this MQTT protocol. But in fact, anyone have Facebook messengers on your phone? Anyone? Yeah, I think everyone have Facebook Messenger on a phone. The underlying protocol of Facebook messengers is MQTT. Yeah, if you use Facebook messengers, this is the one that underlying of the application itself. So it stands for MQ Telemetric Protocol. It's running from port 1883. This protocol is just simply very lightweight and simple. It's running with this so-called architecture publish and subscribes. Let's try to explore a bit about this protocol. So this protocol is very simple compared to HTTP, SSL. We have a lot of certificates exchange. But this one, it just, you have a central broker, which is the MQTT at the center. And then you have a couple of different clients or so-called sensor connect to the same central broker. They subscribe to the same topics. Okay, for example, topic 1, 2, 3. Then someone, as long as there's one client, try to publish a message. Hey, I'm here. This message will just, they will just broadcast into all the clients connect to the same broker itself. Pretty easy, right? Yeah. So I think right now everyone is the MQTT expert. So let's see. We talked about lightweight protocol. If this is just a normal HTTP request, you can see that we have the GET request, host, with a couple of user agent and the cookie itself. In terms of the file size, in terms of the packet size, it will go up to around 600 bytes of data or even 700 bytes of data. But for MQTT, yeah, this is the interesting one, which is around 60 bytes of data. And this is included all the requests and response. What you're seeing on the screen itself is just a client try to publish a message called hello to the topics, sample topics. So pretty lightweight, pretty slick, which is only 70 bytes of data. And the broker will respond back with a few bytes of acknowledgements. Yeah, so this is how MQTT it works. Again, now everyone is an MQTT expert. Okay, so I'll move on to the second protocol, which let's try to make a quick one. Learn about this UPnP protocol. Yeah, I think a lot of us understand about this protocol. Personally, this is my favorite because I love about the concept that zero configuration networking. For example, we have the printer, 一个打印机，我们把它给放在那个局域网中间的时候 and then the printer, the first thing you will do, you will try to assign himself with the IP address by DHCP or static IP. The second thing, the printer, they will start to announce, they will try to search among the same network, who is my neighbors, who is my friends, who else having the UPnP protocol enabled. And then what they will do is, he will start to announce himself, hey, I'm the printer, who are you? Hey, I'm the printer, who are you? Then someone can try to ask the printer, the printer itself to provide more information, such as what's your printer versions, what's your firmware versions. So these are all done through by so-called this UPnP protocol. And after that, you will proceed with the different phases, such as controlling and eventing. I looked into this protocol because 2 years back, Rapid7 making one of the very interesting research about UPnP protocol itself. And then they found that for the whole world, 81 million of unique IP address responding to this UPnP request, which is they have the UPnP port enabled over the internet. And then 23% of that consists of they are using those one of the vulnerable versions of the UPnP. And what we need to do, if you are planning to build a botnet, we just need to have one single packet, single UPnP request, and we are going to pawn that UPnP devices. So within a day or two, you have a botnet with 23 millions of nodes that you have in your hand. But again, don't tell anyone I share with you how to build a botnet. Because I just try to share with you about how to build a honeypot. But I'm trying to study about this particular behavior. So right now, all of us, we have two protocols in our hand. The first thing is the MQTT, and then the second thing that we have is the UPnP protocol in our hand. I'm going to implement these two protocols into the honeypot. So the honeypot that I used to is Dionia honeypot. No worry if not able to remember this name. Dionia honeypot 其实在中文呢 ，Dionia honeypot 就是所谓这个捕蝇草，好，就是这一张照片。如果以后觉得哎，你怎么聊 Dionia？Dionia 其实就是这个捕蝇草。好，那个名称是一样的啊。And then for Dionia honeypot, the best thing about Dionia honeypot, it has a very powerful network protocol emulation capability. So for Dionia, it speaks a lot of languages. For example, it can speak SMB protocol, it can speak about HTTP, FTP, MySQL, even a voice over IP protocol. Yeah. And then what I did back in 2015, I improved, or I plugged two different protocols, which is MQTT and UPnP inside in the Dionia honeypot. So what I do, let's try to look at it together. So remember about the publish and subscribe architecture in MQTT? So what I did is I transform Dionia honeypot to be the MQTT broker. So these are the guys who's standing in the between. I expect that all people will try to connect to my honeypot. Yeah, and then they are going to publish some of the message to my honeypot. So my honeypot will say, yes, I got it for you, I got it. Then we will log everything that has been published or any message that connect to this honeypot itself. So this is the main idea. Yeah, I think this protocol is pretty simple to emulate it. I try to add around like 12 or 15 MQTT commands into it. And then later, UPnP protocol, this is much interesting. I decided to turn Dionia honeypot into different devices. We can choose, they can pick, I want to profile 1, profile 2, profile 3. And this profile will be, for example, we can turn Dionia honeypot to be a super micro IPnP devices. Yeah, you just need to change the setting itself. And what if let's try to turn the honeypot into a Samsung TV. Yeah. So let's try to turn the honeypot itself to be a Xbox 360. So this is my plan, which is try to turn into different devices. I'm going to put in the internet and try to see what we will have. Yeah, I've been doing it for the past 15 months and 18 months. Yeah, definitely. Right now, we are going to push this to the internet. So this is back in 2015. But for 2016, this guy come into the scene, which is a Mirai botnet. Yeah, I would say that a lot of us know about Mirai botnets because definitely this guy tried to go into a lot of 150,000 of devices, Internet of Things devices, such as home router, DVR machines, and IP cameras. And then they will try to guess just a default password, 60 default password. Once they go into the environment, they will try to plant the Mirai botnet into that. Personally, I love the best part of Mirai botnet is I love the source code to be open source. Any one of us can build a botnet again, but don't tell anyone that I keep sharing about how to build a botnet. You can download from the GitHubs, try to compile it, and try to see what we can have. But the problem is, for me, even the source code is open source. But for me, it takes me more than a week to try to compile it. So lesson learned. So for the Mirai botnet, they have 3 different components. The first component will be the scanner, which is the one that try to responsible for scanning the whole internet, finding default password, and they will pass those passwords to the second component, which called loader. This loader guy, they will try to load all the things, all the Mirai payloads into the system itself, into the devices. Once the payload got executed, they will connect to the so-called command and control server. So these are the 3 main components. But for me, it took me almost a week. That's pretty embarrassing because I used to build VM with just 1 gigabyte of RAM inside. I realized that Mirai botnet don't love this thing. They want at least 2 gigabytes of RAM in the VM. So this is my mistakes, which is slightly embarrassing. Next time, if you would like to build your own botnet or build your own source code, so buy more RAM. Yeah. Yeah. So Mirai botnet, they're using lots of telnet protocol. A lot of us know about telnet protocol, but maybe 2 things that you may not know about telnet protocol, which is this protocol is developed back in 1969, when Neil Armstrong go up to the moon. These guys Telnet start to be using. And also, we can watch a Star Wars movie with Telnet. Has anyone doing it before? Watching Star Wars with Telnet protocol? No? All right, yeah. So you can just Google about it. Because Google, they have a very nice tutorial. So how you can watch Telnet, how you can watch Star Wars by Telnet. So the tutorial will tell you, okay, right-click on the command prompt, run as administrators, then type Telnet inside that, copy and paste this URL, and then you press the enter. And then you will see the message coming in. A long, long time ago from the galaxy far, far away. And then this is, you can imagine the sound itself. Dun 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 dun. I made these sounds, all right? This is not in the Telnet, but what you can do is we can watch Telnet, Star Wars in Telnet itself. Yeah. So just now we have MQTT, and then we have UPnP protocol. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to run a Telnet honeypot. Yeah. I'm using this honeypot called Glutton. Glutton honeypot. This is newly developed by the HoneyNet project. This project, Glutton, it means that all eating. 在中文的角度来讲 ，glutton 其实是蚕食或者是贪吃鬼啊。刚才那个是捕蝇草，这个是贪吃鬼。那所以其实大家都可以比较容易的去捕捉到这个整个 honeypot 这个概念。What they do is just like this guy eating all the hamburgers into himself. Yeah. Then you can see that this concept is pretty nice. This honeypot will listen on all the pods, and then all the traffics will be handled by different handler. For example, even in a port 443, the telnet is running on port 443. This honeypot will be able to handle it because it will pass it on to the different handler. Yeah. Try to improve this telnet protocol in a Glutton, and eventually this turned out to be one of very beautiful conversations with Mirai botnet. Yeah. I remember that I'm trying to run Glutton honeypot, and within 3 minutes, I got my first hit, which is Mirai botnet trying to start to talk to me. So right now, we have our honeypot set up, MQTT, UPnP, and then the telnet protocol. So what we're going to do, we are just going to push it on the internet, stay relaxed. I was told by someone that I need to put pictures of the cat photos in a hacker conference because these cat photos definitely will get everyone high. I don't know, get everyone excited. Yeah. So let me put another one, all right? So just a disclaimer right here. I know a lot of security research companies try to deploy a lot of honeypot around the world. So some of them, they have thousands of honeypot around the world. But for me, I will have one in my room, just one. Just one in my room. My wife always complain, why you have something always blinking at the corner? No, this is my honeypot. Yeah. So right now I'm going to share with you some of the story that I have for the past 18 months about my honeypot itself. So let's try to go through by different protocol itself, which is from MQTT. Then let's explore about UPnP and about telnet. Yeah. So for the past 18 months, for the past 2 years, it's pretty silent. I only have around 600 or 700 requests that came into my room and try to talk to me in MQTT language. Yeah. Sometimes it's pretty quiet. Some days we'll have like 30 requests or less. I'm pretty disappointed when I see this particular graph itself. For me, honeypot is meant to be hacked. If the honeypot is not there's no traffic inside the honeypot, or there's no activities in the honeypot does not serve its purpose, definitely. So let's try to go into further. Sorry, what we saw from an MQTT perspective. The honeypot will be able to do a fingerprinting to see who are the one who connecting to us. And then from time to time, you're seeing this guy, they are using some of the specific client ID, and then they will log in with a username called now, password called now. Yeah, it's just pretty simple. I'm pretty disappointed. I'm so sad when I having this particular result itself. I'm thinking of, oh shit, my honeypot failed. So But when I try to look at the next protocol, which is the UPnP protocol, I found these very beautiful attack pictures. Let me share to you. Yeah. So this is what I have. I called this picture as Malaysia KLCC Twin Tower, or you can see the two big spikes, yeah, together, or it could be two Taiwan 101那个塔，有两个台湾101的这个建筑物，怎么讲呢？Back for the 18 months, I have 6.5 million of connections try to connect to my room. Well, I'm not that popular. Why you keep connecting to my room with a 6.5 million of requests? Yeah. These two spikes happened during June last year, and also there's one is happened in end of December. Yeah. So let's try to dive into what's happening in the December time frame. Yep, Mom, I have 3,000 requests into my room on a daily basis for the end of 2017. So, Happy New Year, guys. This is my New Year gift. 3,000 requests of UPnP. Always talk to my room in this year end of 2016, New Year Eve of 2017. Just a simple calculations. I understand that there are around 200 or 300 requests in a per minute basis into my room. I love to explore about what is the exact traffic looks like. When you look at the green side, 那个青色的，其实那个是正常的一个 UPnP 的那个流量。然后 at 那个红色的，其实呢就是 this is what I have in my honeypot itself. So you can see side by side comparison. The first main differences is about the HOST, this particular header. The normal one will be just have the H as a capital letter, but but what I have received is a HOST， 全部都是大写的。然后我就开始去 Google 一下，看看到底什么，其实这个是什么元素还是什么东西？然后我就发觉，其实这个 UPnP， 其实这个 traffic 其实它是来自几个不同 open source 类型的那个 DDoS， 大家都可以在 GitHub 里面把它给下载下来，然后你当然就可以开始做DDoS 这个 attacks。And then I see another interesting thing is the host usually supposed to be a broadcast address, such as 239.255.255.250, but sometimes you'll see those kind of specific IP address has been configured into the UPnP request. Yeah, so I mean, this is some of the interesting attacks that I'm seeing from MQTT, and then from the UPnP perspective. Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, for the next couple of minutes, I'm going to share with you about some of the love story between my honeypot and Mirai botnets. 你们怎么会觉得，怎么这个讲是在讲爱情故事啊？其实我觉得，可以看得出，我的 honeypot 跟那个botnet 在一起聊，他们在一起对话，在一起交流，到后来到了最后的时候 ，Mirai botnet 就很自愿的把他们的 payload 给送了下来。好 ，So ladies and gentlemen, this is for Telnet protocol. This is exactly the raw logs for Glutton honeypot. So let me share with you just a simple, quick tricks to read about this data. Quick tips. So you can see from the raw logs, we will understand who are the one who connecting to us. Second things, you will see they log in with the username and password, and then they will perform some of the further commands. Pay attention on those lines that contain the word RECV, receive. These are all the incoming commands that I've been receiving from my honeypot. So in this case, you can see after they log in with the username called root, password 542321, and then they will try to send the command called enable system shell, and then also /bin/busybox Mirai. So this is just a normal Mirai scanning phase because just now as I mentioned, Mirai have three components. The first one will be the scanning, the second will be the payload delivery, and then the third one will be the so-called command and control channel. So this is what happening in the at the beginning. So 那么我们的爱情故事就现在开始。好，this is the first variant that I've seen. What you're seeing on the screen, I try to make everything highlighted in the green color so everyone can see it much clearly. So this is the exact sequence that coming from Mirai botnet. So once they log into to your devices, they will try to check if these devices is the one that they are targeted with. So they will try to perform some checking, for example, PS 那个指令 PS， 或者是 cat/proc/mounts mao. And then they will try to check if this folder is writable. What they will do is they will try to echo some of the bytes data into /dev/.nippon. Yeah, Mirai, in the Japanese word, I understand this Mirai stands for future. Yeah, and then yeah, in this case, they will try to perform some of the random strings with the words called ECCHI. ECCHI in a voice basis is ichi, oichi, ichi. Ichi in the Japanese language it means sexy or naughty. Yeah, so I would believe that this guy who creating this Mirai botnet, definitely they are the big fan of the anime and maybe a big fan of the Japanese culture. So in this case, after they have all these things, they'll try to wget the secondary payloads, which is the main Mirai botnet, Mirai payloads from the loader itself. You can see from the screen, which is the wget, HTTP ://59.185.241.2/bin mirai.um. So this is the first variant that I've seen. This is exactly the default variants if you try to build the whole things from the source code. Yeah, and then the second thing is, this particular variant is slightly smarter because they understand that they will go through the same thing, which is to try to log into the same system devices, and then they will perform, try to check with the PS command, try to check with the environment itself. But what they will do, they don't like the wget commands because they understand that with the wget command, you are trying to go to another website to download something down. This process can be easily blocked. Someone can just get an IP address. I will just block the loader. So in this case, this Mirai payload delivery will be failed. So for this particular variants of botnet, they use the echo, these functions. They try to write a lot of echo bytes into particular file. Those highlighted in the green color, X7F, 45, 4C, 46. This is the magic header of the ELF file. Yeah. So you have a couple of commands that continue ongoing, and then eventually Mirai botnet will own the box. So yeah. The third variant is pretty interesting. I'm running a honeypot, but someone's always try to, beginning on the June and until July, someone keeps scolding me from the external network. I just try to be friend with you, Mirai botnet. But why you are keep scolding me? Why you are keep speaking rude words to me? WTF? Yeah. So this is what I observed from my honeypot itself. This guy always sending me the message, WTF, 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 WTF. What a friend, yeah. And then what they will do is, while they try to check if this folder is writable, they will try to copy /bin/echo file into the file name called bigbotpime. 其实我本身我看了这整个 log， 大概这个日记看了大概1个月，然后当时我心中非常的气愤，怎么你天天在骂着我的这个 honeypot？ 我只是要对你友善而已，怎么你每一天就是来一个 WTF 我的这个 honeypot？ 那所以当时我就发愤图强，我就觉得不行，我一定要找出这个罪魁祸首，这个幕后的这个凶手是谁？当然 ，from 来自这些日记当中呢，其实我有2个关键词，我可以在 Google 上面找一找。第一就是 WTF， 可是当然如果我去找 WTF 在 Google 呢，其实我觉得那个整个那个所搜寻到的结果当然是灾难，应该是灾难性吧。所以我就觉得，我要找出你，然后我就看得出那个 bigbotpime 其实它是一个关键词。那么我就把它给放在 Google 找了一找，其实我发觉，怎么 bigbotpime 其实有一个 Skype 那个 ID 其实是 bigbotpime， 然后它是联系到于这个所谓的 Lizard Squads DDoS services。如果有人想要购买 DDoS service 的话，其实可以找他们。我觉得这个是其中一个管道吧。当然Lizard Squads back then they are famous with lots of DDoS a lots of gaming services。 And then back then, for Malaysian, a few years back, there's a very sad story about MH370, the missing plane. Until today, we're still not able to find that. But this guy, Lizard Squads, they claim to be the one that they defaced Malaysia Airline website, and they put a page called 404 plane not found. I mean, it's sad because we are still trying to find the plane, but you try to deface the website and then you put in these kind of sentences. Yeah. So I got a Facebook, then I try to go for the Twitter. Oh, this guy is on Twitter as well. But just be careful, don't follow this guy. Just try to don't follow this guy. You can observe about what's their activities or what is their next DDoS services that they are trying to perform with against a lot of gaming system, but don't try to follow them. So in this case, 8月13号，其实我看得出，这一群人其实他们在 DDoS Blizzard 的那个gaming 的那个整个系统吧，我觉得所以其实我觉得是蛮好玩的，因为从一个 honeypot 可以慢慢的可以演算出来，到后来其实我找到这个罪魁祸首，这个幕后的主持人到底是谁？怎么每天在骂我的 honeypot？ 有没有搞错？So yeah, these are the third variants that I have, and then you have seen a very sexy, naughty Mirai botnet, and then you have seen a very smart Mirai botnet. You have seen a very rude Mirai botnet. So I've seen the fourth botnet. This guy is pretty happy because what they will do is they will try to write some files when they try to test this file is writable. They will write a file to a file name called /dev.hajike. I think hajike in the Japanese language, it means go crazy or happy. Yeah, so I think this is some of the characteristics that they have. And also they will love the word called PPP helper. For the default, those Mirai botnet, it will always use DVR helper. But this guy, they love PPP helper. So the last one, the fifth one, the love story that I have, Mirai botnet this guy is pretty nasty and pretty sneaky. Because by looking at the wget way of they doing that, the wget, usually they will try to download a ELF file, .elf or .arm v7. But in this case, they're downloading a picture, one.jpg. But this is not a picture, it's just a name. Yeah. But I mean, in fact, the file itself is still an ELF file, which is Mirai's binary file, which they customize and they build by themselves. These pictures will become a random names, which call ZXCVBNM on the device once they download it. So this ZXCBNV is in fact the sequence of your keyboard. So the keyboard will have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, QWERT, ASDF, and then this is the third row that you have. Yeah, so I think these particular variants, they are just pretty sneaky and pretty nasty. Yeah. Definitely, as a honeypot lovers, we would just love to collect all these payload and binaries that they deliver to us. Yeah, this is the result of the love story. Definitely, you can see a lot of binary that's been collected, and then different file size. It can become as small as 2 KB of files, and even though you can have a much bigger size, around like 200 KB of files. Definitely, yeah. Mirai itself is not enough. I don't know why. Mirai tried to fall in love to my honeypots. Another botnet falling in love to my honeypot as well. So this is the last story that I'm going to share with you today. So while looking at all the Mirai botnets, I found another botnet, which is a Hajime botnet. Try to talk to my honeypot, and they are fighting to each other. I've seen this botnet since the day one I'm running the Telnet honeypot, this particular protocol honeypot since early this year. So I like to mention that this honeypot is the honeypot that pawn all the single things in just 9 commands. Yeah. So what they will do is they log into your to the device with the username, password, and then they will perform a checking. For example, they will use the dd command, try to write 52 bytes of data into the disk, try to check if this folder is writable, and then they will just perform a wget and get the additional payload. Within 9 commands, boom, the box is pawned. Yep, by looking at this command, but interestingly happened is during May 27, from the top, from the green, those are the initial versions of the Hajime botnet. But then for what started from May 27, something is missing, which is this particular wget command is gone. So I'm trying to compare these two together. What the hell? What's happening? But the main things that happening just is very slightly different, which is the dd command. The initial one, 他们就在挂弧里面，那个 dd 那个整个指令。可是比较新的那个variants， 他们就把那个挂弧给拿掉了。Once they remove these parentheses, in fact, it bypass a lot of detections of a lot of open source honeypot that are available on the internet. So I think those guys, they are reading detection. They are trying to check if anyone's try to detect them, and then they are trying to modify what they can do in terms of try to gain back all the access. Yeah. After I fix the code, yeah, we got wget back, and then we have even more better things, which is we noticed that hey, HITCON botnet start to use tftp command with a special sequence of the of the argument, tftp-l-r and -g. Yeah. So I shared a love story about for Mirai botnet with my honeypot. 他们怎么打情骂俏啊？他们怎么去对话？然后很多时候我看见，哎，其实不只是 botnet 啊，很多时候他们还是会有一些比较好笑、比较搞笑的。很多时候那些从外面进来的这一些指令呢，有时候他们只是写一个单单的字眼，我到此一游，就是大概是这样子。Echo no downs rep I'm here, yeah. Or sometimes they will just put a words called payloads, yeah. And then I'm also sometimes I think, what the hell? Are you going to download the file from 0.0.0 from with your wget? From my perspective, I think this is the misconfiguration C2, which is maybe when they test the botnet itself, but they don't really configure it properly with but they will leave it as default 0.000. But the problem for me, 我的问题是，其实我也找不回哪一个攻击者。我其实我很想跟他讲，哎，你的那个这个 botnet 其实还没 configure 好，你应该去调整一下。So as promised, I've shared about the story that what I've seen for the UPnP protocol, MQTT, and then the Telnet protocol. I'm going to show you some of my pictures for my honeypot itself. Yeah. So this is the pictures that I have for my honeypot at home. Yeah. And then I've won until I grow my honeypot from 1 to 3. So this is the daytime. This is the nighttime. So this is the daytime. This is the nighttime. This is the daytime. This is the nighttime. Yeah. So if you would like to play with a honeypot, definitely this is a couple of links that you can try to play with. Yeah. Just download the honeypot and set it up yourself. You can try about this diamond honeypot, glutton 这个蚕食的，或者是这个捕蝇草，或者是这个honey pie 这个整个这个草莓派的这个 image。好 ，Yeah. Also, this is what I have for the day. Again, I would say that playing with honeypots is a very good learning experience for me. Just a very simple setup. I seeing a lot of different activities. And those activities is out of my expectations. I don't, 我没有预测到，其实我可以跟Mirai botnet 来的这么的一个亲密的接触。然后当然我觉得，哎，这个整个过程是一个非常好玩的事情。所以其实我很建议大家，其实在座的各位，其实都可以把一个 honeypot 自己架设上来，然后玩一玩，聆听整个 internet 这个互联网上面其实到底发生了什么事情。然后那一些让他们跑进去你家中或者是你办公室中的这些蜜罐。好 ，So I believe that I just doing all these things just for my hobby basis. Yeah, it's not about my work. I deploy the whole thing just at home. So I believe that every one of you can do even much better compared to me. Yeah. At the end, let's try. I'll just do a simple promotion. This is about Hack in the Box conference. Next year we'll have a Hack in the Box conference in Amsterdam, in Singapore. And then for October next year, we have one in Beijing. Yeah, so feel free to join us, submit any topics if you'd like to. Yeah, and definitely talk to me. So I'm going to give you some of the stickers, postcard. I have a lot in my bag. Yeah, so just say hi and talk to me. Yeah, I think this is what I have for today. I think thank you very much. Thank you, HITCON, for the opportunity. Appreciate it. 谢谢你们，谢谢。
好。非常精彩的演说。那不知道各位有没有什么问题？我们开放，我们现在还有一点时间。 大家对物联网或者是架设 honeypot，或者是 Mira 有什么相关的问题？有没有？
等一下我都会在这边，所以其实大家可以聊一聊，如果大家有兴趣要怎么去弄或者是怎么去玩这个物联网的这个蜜罐。好
OK， 好，那我们就再次掌声鼓励一下。
，Thank you。
要有任何问题的话，我们可以到前面来。大家如果害羞的话，请到前面来。好，谢谢大家。